So to many surprise, there's quite a few Hollywood people coming out of the woodworks in support of President Trump for many different reasons. And one of those people that has really confused me and brought up a lot of questions in my head is Kirstie Alley, who is, I'll get into kind of how I know her, but she's an actress in Hollywood and has she's very controversial over the years. We'll just say that. But a few of the things I want to talk about in this video is, do I like her better because she likes the candidate I like? And is it because I like that she's a Hollywood person that's coming out in support of President Trump? And also, I have some opinions about, or some negative opinions about Scientology, which she's a Scientologist. So am I supporting Scientology if I support her? Or should I dismiss her entirely or accept her entirely based on President Trump or based on Scientology? The two kind of things that are at play here. So I want to get into all that right now. But before we get into that, if you want social, political, and cultural commentary video topics throughout every week, make sure to subscribe to this channel, whether you're watching on Rumble or you're watching on YouTube. But if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications by ringing that bell. And with that said, let's get on with the rest of this video. So, like I said, Kirstie Alley is the one Hollywood person who's come out in support of President Trump besides the two as of now that I've heard mostly about, which is Ice Cube, who is a rapper and an actor who came out in support of President Trump's Platinum Plan, which was to invest a lot of money in the Black community and communities that are more populated with Black people, or more percentage-wise Black people. And then we had 50 Cent, another rapper who, when he saw Joe Biden, who is the Democratic nominee, President Trump's opponent, when they saw his tax plan, 50 Cent basically put out a tweet saying, "I don't want to be 20 Cent." So that is another kind of Hollywood media person that is coming out in support of President Trump just because they're opposing Joe Biden, or there's some initiative that President Trump has that is too hard to pass up. So those are the other two in Hollywood. But anyways, back to Kirstie Alley. Overall, I like her. And I've known her growing up. Now, I'm not old enough to really remember when Cheers was on and Star Trek, but I kind of know that she's part of that. That was kind of her earlier career in some movies. But I know her mostly from growing up, the Jenny Craig commercials, before I really knew who she was because I was a kid. And kind of her association on those commercials and that big campaign she did over the years as far as the weight loss, and then her appearances on Oprah, because I would be watching Oprah in the background after schools when my mom would be watching kind of those shows. So I kind of remember that subconsciously. And then I would watch her reality show that she had on A&E after kind of the Jenny Craig thing. And that show didn't really touch on the Scientology part of her life because that was obviously controversial. So that never came up in my brain. But before I knew what Scientology was, and before Leah Remini, who was another actress in Hollywood, started speaking out against the quote-unquote church, I like her, right? Besides that whole Scientology part of her. So I think she is funny. I think she's humorous. It appears that she speaks her mind from what we see. But also, there's this other dilemma in my brain about kind of, am I co-signing on everything someone says or does if I support a couple aspects of them but not these other aspects of them? And so I don't know if I have the answer to that. And my gut instinct tells me no. Just because I like certain traits of someone doesn't mean I agree with everything they do. I think it's almost impossible to find someone that you agree with 100% on everything. Now, if you have family that's blood, of course you accept them for who they are, and you know that they're your blood family, and you get to still choose if they want them in your life or not. And same with friends, and same with things you consume and companies you support and people you want to talk to and associate with, where you want to work. I think all those things should be up for debate, and you don't necessarily have to like or dislike everything to choose if you want to support or not support something. So I think everyone has kind of that one thing or a couple of things that are higher up on the list of decision making regarding if you support or don't support something. And this is kind of the dilemma I wanted to kind of touch on here. And this outward support that Kirstie Alley has for President Trump, which she cites as just because he's not a politician, she's voting for him, has brought up in my head. And so I just wanted to make sure I kind of explain that if you've been having the same dilemma. But as far as criticism in Scientology goes, the only way for, I think at this point, someone to justify criticizing Scientology is if you don't believe they are an actual religion. Or else it would be bigotry to kind of bash someone for being a part of a certain religion. I mean, I think the same thing can be said for religions that persecute certain groups of people, whether it's women or homosexual, gays. You could argue that saying you're against that religion that does that is considered bigotry. Now, if you have a reason that you're justifying it, or you say you're not bashing the whole religion, you're just bashing these parts of the religion that are bad for society as a whole or whatnot, I think that is an important nuance to point out and to take into consideration, because a religion, someone might not agree with everything a certain religion does as a whole, or certain groups within the religion that hold these more extreme views. But as far as Scientology, that to me is kind of the same battle that we're facing here. And Scientologists, especially celebrities who are more prominent and more well-known, their go-to line when they are questioned in the public in an interview from news media or whatnot is that bashing someone for being a Scientologist is being a religious bigot, or a religion bigot. So there is an argument for that, but of course, if it's true that kind of they're being brainwashed and coached by Scientology, then you could argue that that's kind of just their prepped line, even though they may not necessarily believe it. It is possible that Scientology uses celebrities to kind of recruit and also recruit other people, like normal people, into the religion or church, whatever you want to call it, and then secludes the celebrities from the reality of what being a Scientologist means for the average person who joins, or maybe not as well known as a person. So celebrities could be treating it as another endorsement deal or gig, and it could be just also a Hollywood facade that was created for that juicy, scandalous storyline and kind of mystique that can be fodder for a lot of different kind of business ventures or creative ventures that it appears only Hollywood would be able to kind of manufacture. And so I thought it was just, this whole story has just brought up a lot of different conflicting things I've had in my brain, so I wanted to get them out there. One thing that is interesting about Scientology is there's quite a bit of evidence that could indicate that maybe it's not a facade created by Hollywood. I do know for sure that they do own buildings in Hollywood. I've driven by them before. Haven't gotten close enough to kind of see what's going on, but that's part of their plan, is they kind of keep people away from seeing what's really happening besides what's already out there in the public. And they're really good at covering up and kind of hiding things if it's true what's happening inside, and really good at kind of creating this mystique around it. So this could be another ploy for that too. Maybe this could all be the truth about the whole Trump argument, is that maybe he is building a cult or a cult following, and Scientologists are more likely to support President Trump because they maybe feel that same thing they feel in Scientology. I don't know. But or they're buddying up to President Trump because they know that they have been subject to a lot of scrutiny over their tax-exempt status, which is what they get as being a religion or church or recognized religion. And so they maybe feel that using their celebrity power to buddy up to the president, who is the top person in the country as far as enforcing the laws and military-wise, buddying up to him could save them from getting that tax-exempt status revoked for not being a religion or based on claims that they are creating an unsafe environment for members that are a part of the church. So there's a lot of different factors to this story, and I want to know what you think as far as where's the line drawn for you if you support someone or against someone. Are you able to kind of agree with certain things they do and like the person, but maybe not like some of their decisions? How do you feel about that? Also, regarding Hollywood and the whole leftist viewpoint that Hollywood tends to create, which in short, there is a reason for it. It's because the science shows that people with a more creative, artistic brain or way of thinking or line of work, they're more likely to be Democratic liberal because of that line of work that they have, which requires them to be kind of open-minded and very creative and think outside the box type. So it's not like some outlandish reason why a lot of Hollywood people and entertainers that are in the creative side of entertainment are Democrats, liberals, whatnot. So I wanted to get that in there too. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you want videos throughout the week on social, political, and cultural topics, make sure to subscribe to this channel either on Rumble or on YouTube, where you can also turn on post notifications by ringing the bell. Before you leave this video, if you liked what you saw here, make sure to head down and hit the like button on YouTube. If you're on Rumble, down below you can hit the plus sign, and if you're on Rumble on your phone, go above this video and hit the punching bag to give it a little rumble, which is the equivalent of a like, which gets my videos on the leaderboard of Rumble, which is really exciting. So with that said, thank you so much for stopping by in this video, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.